Hi, you guys. I'm putting on a little countdown. Look at that. I'm going a little early, obviously, because there's too much to go over. And I think that the information that I want to, I think I actually know the information I want to share is important enough to go on right now. Hi, you guys. Um, I'm going to just let you guys chit chat for a moment while I look something up. Um, wow, lots going on, right? Summer car. Um, so much going on. Wait, lining stuff up. Car pics. Okay. You'll see I actually took I took a video down in respect to the person I was calling out. Um, I think that it was just correct for me to take it down because I called out this person's name and nothing's proven to proving correct. And I don't know if it's the correct person or not. So I did agree with their friend who emailed me, and that was the right thing for me to do. So I took a video down. I put it to the side for if in fact I ever want to put it back up again. But you know, it, she was correct. I agreed with her actually. Yes, two more arrests, and I'm going to show you some information. I have three PDFs. We'll see how much I could get through. Happy New Year, everyone. Closing out 2022. Bye bye. Um, you guys see this picture up here? This is from the video that was all over Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, it was just the right thing to do. I'll put it up maybe some other time if needed. If not, I'm not going to. I said my point, and I think it was actually a little too much, especially since this person is innocent right now. Um, this is a video that is circulating. I think it's from Sweetie Pilo or something like that. They put the video up, and I watched it. I was actually watching it on someone's channel, and I'm like, that's the element. And they're basically like, fuck you, Lori. Um, so I'm like, okay, well, then I'm going to just put this shit up and show you what I'm talking about. You guys see this photo? If you want to listen to the whole entire video, go to Sweetie Pilo, and she has it. She's awesome. Um, Great channel actually. But this was really important information to show. Like whoever is speaking here, you guys, whoever this is that is speaking and does this video, I'm saying that this person either was at the murder, is the murderer, or knows way too much information and knows what happened that night. And the fact that when I show you the photos that are being covered up and in the background and how they're doing it and what kind of machinery they're using, it matches what I've been following you guys for a year and a half. Yeah, I like her too. Oh, she's so cute. So I'm going to get into it because I actually have three PDFs, right? This is the beginning picture, and what I want you guys to notice is a phone within a phone within a phone. Summer Moon Wells missing children, and I'm specifically talking about Summer. In the beginning, her very, 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 very first photo that was released looked like this. Okay? This is Summer Moon. this presentation, I'm hoping to, no notification again? Weird. I'm going to check that out, Judy. Welcome in. Thank you. I'll check that out. It's so strange. Do you have, make sure you have the notification bell, that you get notified. Maybe you have to redo it. I'll look at the, in the back end when we're done here for sure. Here, I'm like, no one really understood how, this is like a photo that was taken within a frame of another phone. And I've always looked at this, and there's that box behind them, and it creates like layers of information. So when I was looking at this, especially Benny, I'm going to show you, and let me tell you guys something. When I say Benny, it's not the Benny. It's not, there's lots of different people that create different things, right? So when I first started looking at this, I'm like, this is being done by equipment. Like, I know that because I would go to China many, many times during the year. And one of the things I always hit was the new electronic show, and the 3D imaging, and the where you could step inside any reality that you want, and you could create whatever reality you want, and you could layer it any way you want, right? And this is what these guys are doing. So remember this picture as I show you and go over this, because there isn't much difference. This to me are the same people, same information, using the same equipment for the same exact purpose. This here that you see with the phone within the phone is the same as Summer Moon Wells, the phone within the phone. That's what you're looking at. And I'm going to show this to you. You see how it's layered? Now what you see here is you could see the maroon box behind the milk. See? Because you know the elements you're looking for. The maroon box behind the milk is right here. You know, but they layer upon layer. And I'm going to show you that's how whoever did that video, I've already sent this stuff in. Whoever did this video and used information and spoke the way that he did, to me, he needs a very deep, dark look at him. I don't know who it is, but this person is doing and using the same processes as I've been looking at. If you want to listen to the whole video, you could go to her channel. I'm not going to play it because I'm here talking about this whole thing. I'm starting with this photo because there's something about the smiley faces that I am keeping account on. Oh, I'm going to show you what's going on with the cars. Hi, Sean. You want to know what is going on with the cars? He's a mechanic and he fixes them. Sherlock. I know what that means. I'm going to show you about the cars. So, hang tight. Okay, here we go. All right, Sean, that's right. I took it down, right? Because I was told I already did that. All right, bye-bye. That was fast. Bye-bye, Sean. Okay, so He's gone. You use words like that in my channel? Really? When someone does that, Sean, just I banded you, but just so you know, it comes through, it either comes through love or through hate. And when someone acts that way on a channel that you don't know anything about, and all you should know is that I'm here to help find the murderers that are killing our children. And, you know, if you can't handle it and you want that shit to continue, I have plenty other photos that I'm going to be showing. I may not be showing faces, but I know what I'm talking about. I know, Sean, when I see an eyeball like this in a child, I know what that means. I know, Sean, when I see this in a child's eyeball, I know what it means. So I am here for the sake of the missing children. I am not here to talk about anyone individually. I don't give a rat's ass fuck about them. Never did, never will. I don't care who they are. All I care about is that the elements that certain people show are the elements of the Summer Moon Wells missing murdered children. When someone shows me a foot like this in a water pool, I know what that is. So if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, you're on the wrong channel. Bye-bye. I know what this shit is, and I know where this came from. So if you have a problem with it, it's because you're scared. And I understand. But this foot is exactly the kind of foot that I see on all of the children that were victimized. So you need to really, really hone in on yourself, have faith within yourself to go look at this stuff and really stop and take a look before you quickly come onto someone's channel and bitch to someone like me who has worked over a year and a half now on trying to stop the murders. That's it. That's it. I already sent this shit in. The people that work with me over by the FBI, they know my elements. So, that's it. They're real. This is Summer Moon Wells. This was her flyer that they passed around when she went missing. Look at the flyer today. Look at the car today. Look at what the red truck looks like today. These photos changed to tell the truth. How? I really don't know. How? I don't care. All I know is it shows the truth within the frames. It's showing that the trucks are being layered with this shit on top, just like that. This is from Summer Moon Wells's flyer. Now, that's what Summer Moon Wells looks like in the photo now. We all know that that's so not normal. So not normal. That's the stuff that I keep pushed to the side. The truck on the bottom left-hand corner resembles the trucks that I keep saying this is how this stuff gets moved. It gets thrown on the back of a truck. It gets layered in the back of the truck. And anytime that I see a truck like that, I'm going to call it out. And it has got nothing to do with the person who has the truck. Never did. It's not about them. It's about me showing the story through the elements that are being shown. It doesn't matter who or what or where it came from. Never did. I don't give a fucking rat's ass if this guy works with whoever works with trucks or guitars or doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because the elements are being pulled from the station to show you the story so you could understand it better. It's not my problem that they have, and I explain that all the time. It's about the children. And when I put up Ryan Upchurch's stuff, he gets it. He knows I'm not calling him out. He knows it. It's not about him. His photos hold certain elements. That is his up in the left-hand corner, but who cares? I don't care. This is the story, though. This is it. This is what this stuff looks like. It's being put on the back of a truck and being pulled. And this stuff gets built into the trucks somehow, and the tires have a lot to do with it. Even this truck that you are looking at, that is completely filled with amazing information, is sitting on a track. It's sitting on a track. The wheels, it got pushed onto a track. Why? I don't know, but it's common element. It's always on a track. The tires are always being pulled. This stuff is separate. It's almost as if the car, the back of the car does not match the front of the car. And they do this throughout all the cases. See how the back of the car is so white and the front of the car is so fake? That's what it is. That's what I look for. Those are two separate cars because they superimpose information to tell the story. The only thing I care about are the elements that prove to be the story. And what you see here is what I'm going to be showing you more of in the next PDF. This is a separate piece. It doesn't even match. Right here. And that's what's the most important thing, you guys, are the elements. I brought this up the other day. This is my second PDF. It actually is fucking amazing, but I'm getting through this one first. I brought this up the other day because I pointed out to you guys that dog bowl looked just like a dog bowl I've seen before. And this dog bowl that matches, this is Summer Moon, and right here is that little dog bowl. There's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, well, there's a lot of them, actually. Each person that is in this photo that has been passed away, sacrificed, has one of these dog bowls. And they match. The second time I saw one of those was in this room. I showed this room many, many months ago. I'm like, this is the room. They get put in here. And I was like, I need to put this to the side. This room is screaming death to me. And I send everything in, and I do know people do come back and re-listen. So what I'm saying to those who really need to know what this means is that this room has the elements that we are now working with. That's the little head. That's a gas thing. That's the dog bowl. This head right here is like the green little head. and that gets attacked. That's I can't. You know what? When I talk about it, it's hard to breathe. Um, but this room I pegged months ago, and then when I saw this dog bowl, I'm like, that's Summer Moon Wells' dog bowl. And so a month ago when I did a video, and Ryan Upchurch knows it does nothing to do with him. When I saw the movement of him doing something and he threw down a bowl of food, and to me what I saw was it when, now this is spiritually and when I tell these stories, you guys, it's all for entertainment purposes, right? Everything I do and say falls under Section 107, the Copyright Act 1976. Like, I'm telling you stories, but I'm telling you stories through my third eye. And they're visions of stories that have to all to do with the children, and they don't have to do with like Ryan Upchurch actually doing this. So when I see movements in people, like I could see someone walking on the street and it will show me that that person is having a hard time walking, even though he's not. And this has happened to me. This started happening to me a year ago when I started working with Summer Moon Wells. I was at a bridal shower, and a very good friend of mine's husband was there, and he walked over to the bride who was opening up the gifts, and I popped out of my chair. I'm like, oh my God, let me help you. And I'm like helping him, and everyone's looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, come on, let me help you. Go sit down. Come on, we'll go sit down. Like, it looked like I was losing my wit. Like, what is she doing? So I'm like, come on, now let's go sit down. And I brought him away, and he sat down. Everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, he's having such a hard time walking. Do you not see that? He's gonna fall. He can't walk. He can't even walk. Why? How is it that you don't see that? And that's when I realized that my sight and my vision and my third eye was really getting wide open. And then I realized why I saw that, and now I know not to say things because it scares people, because that person wound up being, with a diagnosis. And so it has nothing to do with the present moment time. Just like when I see Ryan Upchurch's stuff, it has nothing to do with him. I see it's telling me that this is part of the Summer Moon Wells missing children story. And there's a movement of some sort where they throw a bowl down of mush or something into a hole, you guys. And when I saw this, I thought of that movement of Ryan Upchurch, which has nothing to do with him being part of the story. See what I'm saying? So when I saw this, I'm like, this picture has been taken from up down. You're looking downward. So it made me more aware of the picture. So I'm like, okay, so this is being thrown down into a hole. And there's your plumbing. There's plumbing on it. So to me, these are really important pieces of information that help tell the story. Just like this one, when I say the element of these big faces, that's Kylie Rodney. And I'm telling you that that's Kylie Rodney on the left-hand side. The right-hand side comes from a whole different person that I'm following, right? But yet, I know that these show up in every case. So when I show you and say that guy is holding the face from the Idaho 4, and that this face is super important, I know they arrested someone, but the story's not over. There's a lot of people involved. The point of Summer Moon Wells Missing Children is not to throw one person in jail. It's not about throwing one person in jail. It's about, just like when that guy said, who was thrown in jail, that guy Brian, have you arrested anybody else? He wants to know if is this thing closed down? Like, am I the only one that got busted? I know that he's got his issues, and he may do that for attention, and he may ask that question just because he knows everyone's going to talk about it and give a shit of everything he says. But There are other people. There are other people. And this is what they're holding. That is one of the Idaho 4, and this is the stuff that is not talked about. You can't just throw someone in a rat hole and think that at least I'm going to stop. No, because this here is what they're doing. We love Judy, or yes we do. Night, Judy. And Muffin Top. Um, this is the story. This is what they do, and this is what the children want stopped. Or recognized, at least recognized by the authorities who aren't recognizing it. And the reason they're not recognizing it is why. That's what we want to know. Why wouldn't anyone talk about the fact that that guy on the cam video for the Idaho 4 is holding one of those? Why wouldn't they talk about that? I'm just putting these two pictures up here because I didn't do anything to these pictures. They keep changing. These are two couple photos that I keep showing you guys, but holy shit, as I tell more of the story, they keep ripping apart and changing themselves. These are both Don Wells's property photos, and I am quite confident that whatever it shows here is part of the real story. It may not obviously be right in this area, but why would this be here if in fact it's not part of the story? Like, I'm curious to know what face is turning up on the left-hand side. These are just pictures I decided to throw in today because I'm like, I keep watching them. And there's a really clear photo of a lady with her eyes closed showing up on the left-hand side, and it's coming through. I know why this is coming through now, because what I'm about to show you from the Idaho 4 and from Summer Moon Wells is this. I'm about to show you how the photos like this it's going to be that, you guys. You're going to see, because I know what this is. This is just like that, because Summer Moon Wells is the same thing. They're all going to tell the truth, because that is what WCIA Network does here. I'm not in charge of what it shows, you understand? It shows. Because it shows, it just tells me because it works through spirit. I have absolutely no connection to it other than the children. I don't care or have a connection towards any of the people I'm getting this from. And when I say I don't care, I seriously am telling you I don't. So when someone comes in thinking they're going to get a conversation and try to make it about someone, that's just selfish, because it's not about anybody other than the children. And the fact that this here comes from someone who did a video that amazing, Sweetie Pie Lou, I should probably get her name right, Sweetie Pie Louie or something, did such a great job. But this is what's happening. And this is the part of the story that's not being told. And it's not being recognized. His photos and whatever he is doing is no different than when Summer Moon Wells' first photo came out and she was also stuck in a phone. It's the same thing. And whatever is going on here is shifting. And I venture to say, whatever the left-hand photo turns into, will help you understand and me understand, because I don't understand it. Truthfully, I don't understand much until I go over it with you guys. I have to be honest. Like, I put this out there, then I watch with you, and that's why sometimes I can't open chat. Is because as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, this makes sense. Why put this in here? You know, I put this stuff, I'm going to change the coloring a little bit so you can see. I put this stuff in here, and now you can see why. Oh, did the coloring change while I change? Did the coloring just change? That's weird. Wait a minute. You guys, did the coloring just change? Huh. That's very strange that that just did that, right? Did it turn orange? Did you guys see that? Here, I'm going to sharpen this one a little bit. It's orange. See what's happening? That's going to be summer moon. Seems like it did. And you could see the certain things on the bottom. Let me just turn it and then I'll go to the next. When I turn it upside down is when it matches the Idaho Force information. See the ceiling? The ceiling is just like the ceiling was with the kids standing outside on the porch. And now the head has something over the top. And you see the tire. You see the hubcaps where the tire was, like right here. This shows me that there was rubber on this. Here's the face. This to me is the tire. And that's the ceiling. And that's a railroad track. There's a lot in here. There's a lot in here. And that's why I redo it. This picture was of one of the girls in Idaho. I don't think it was one of the girls that died, but to me, they're showing Kylie Rodney, and they have those little lights on her face, and I've seen those lights many a times before. Those aren't her little sparkles, but to me, there's no difference between her and Kylie. Or Kylie. They're the same. The guy that I showed in the red here, it's on the top, and that's her boyfriend. There's something very, very, very similar, but yet this guy also has a similarity to the one that was just arrested. His face changes often. This guy with the red here, look what he looks like. Wait. He very much also resembles, and he's very, very thin, and sometimes he is and sometimes he isn't. But the information in this guy's video is a sacrifice. So, here again, he's probably going to have the white face right there next to him. See what's happening behind him? Um, he does look like a similarity. No, they're not. They're not. They're putting this stuff out there, but no one's recognizing it. Now, Benny has all different faces. This isn't about him, never is. I actually am in his corner, and I really hope he's a good guy. But he shows all the elements that I'm going to be showing you today. All of them. In his videos. So, this is the fake car. This is why I do cars. The fake car is created by someone who knows how to build this stuff. It's created by people who know how to build it. So when I see photos like above of one of the Idaho 4, I look and I visually see his head is on one piece of the equipment. And that piece of equipment is identified the same as the ones that I pulled to the side of Benny's head laying in. It's almost it gives you a visual. Is Benny's head really locked into the machine? No. No. Of course not. But he shows all the elements. So I show it to you because it's really critical. That this student, they're not going to talk about this stuff. And this is the stuff that needs to be stopped. See, this is what winds up in the car. See the V on the end? It's white. They show it, you guys. Look at his teeth. There's no teeth. They show it. And there's nothing about this shit that is covered up. All you have to do is look. Those who I always say, oh, then it goes through water and blah, blah, blah. This is part of how they move this stuff. These are the number 5 boxes. You could see there's faces and shit in these pieces of equipment. They just all move together. This stuff is connected to the car, which goes to the boat, which goes to the water. I have many videos on it, and if you want to see really good videos on it, just go to the fisherman's videos, because they're amazing. And it has nothing to do with the people that I took it from. It has to do with the fact that this is part of what they're doing. Part of what they're doing, and this is part of the equipment that you guys, your eyeball should be looking for. And not to close your eye to it. You know? Open up your eyes and realize that this is happening. This is happening. These are ways of transporting. And they're all over the videos. Little teeny cages. Again, part of the transporting, but whatever you see that's on the car, on the boat, in the water, they're the same element created and placed in different places. So it's about the element. So what I'm looking at is the element that you're looking here is what I followed. I follow these elements. See? That's a cage. And then they wind up in the water. As you could see here, the cage is in the water. You can't miss it. It travels this way. It's right there. It travels this way. Correct. It's the buggy. It's all one. It's the buggy. It's the way it travels. It's the buggy. It's the basket. This is how it moves. It doesn't stay in one location. The children have no idea where they are. None. And I believe whatever these people are eating is this. And that's what this is, like the mush that they make them eat. I don't know much about it other than this is what it looks like. And when I see mush and I see these families feeding the food to children that I could tell is not food, it's shit that none of us would ever eat. See, here's the horse head. These things are being made. That's the horse head. And this is an element right here. So Fisher boat makes a stop. And what you see on the boat is to the right-hand side, and that's Kylie Rodney to the left. So when I tell you that these are boxes and they travel and these are all bars, it may be on the boat one day, but to the left it's sitting in the ground another day, but it's the same element and it's the same people that are being murdered. It's still Kylie, but it gets moved. It's the same process. And that's Kylie. And then it's on the boat. So when they think that one person throwing one person in jail is not going to do it, it's not. This is what I've been showing over and over. This is a major photo that matched Summer Moon Wells with the same thing. Another element that I haven't discussed in a while are the pieces that I begged the FBI and TBI or whatever to go look for. And it's those maroon sticks. It's the pieces all the way in here, and they put it in front of many houses. It shows up in every one of Harmony, Summers, all of the cases. So because I know it has to do with the missing children, I know when to look for them. I know when to pull this out. This went to the authorities a while ago. This is connected to someone. The one in the middle has the same thing stuck in the ground. This is connected to someone. And then the one to the left is obviously Michael Vaughn. Now, I'm not just pulling photos that are sticks in the mud. They come with a story. They are part of the element. These sticks are not just sticks. They're the V's and the frames that you see that go with the cars. They're on the tires. It's this thing right here that gets stuck in the mud. It's the same thing. It has all the wires. There's a picture of one of the Idaho 4 in a box with this stuff behind her. And I'm like, and you know what? I didn't even pull it to the side. I'm like, forget it. It's, and I should have kept it because one of the Idaho 4 girls has this with her. And it's stuck right in the ground with the main stick. And the person where I got this from, if you're watching, you know that this is from you. So understand that I'm not going to make it about you. But I see the elements here. and they all make sense to me. I see the hole in the ground. I see Summer Moon Wells. I see her pieces. And, you know, it's not difficult to understand if, in fact, you allow yourself to see it. You know, and it's not an easy thing to see. Wait, let me see if I could sharpen this. Because down in this corner here, now it's just, imagine this to be Grandis's side of her RV. She has all those sticks and she has all that stuff. But here in the very little corner is the head. Right here. And that's what's connected to all this shit. Don't ask me what, why, but. So you know who you are. You know who you are. So I just think it's kind of funny and silly that you show this shit in your videos. But just understand, I'm keeping a file on this stuff. So if the day comes, it's obvious. So this is the stuff that goes in someone's garage. This is the only reason I took stuff about the garage. Because the same exact A-frames are in garages with the cars. Particular garages have exactly what I need to show my element. Period. And if it's going to tell the story of these children being sacrificed, I am going to show it. And that's what falls under Section 107, the Copyright Act 1976. Because this is nothing more than the children's story. This is what is in his backyard. This here are the A-frames that you see in Michael Vaughn's. All of these. And they travel all the way to the boat. So a part like this is what I told authorities to look by the fence, where the pieces are by the fence. This might as well be Michael Vaughn's fence, but it isn't. It's Summer Moon Wells's. I'm now going to switch to how they cover up their faces and show you how Benny's not Benny. Benny's face changed in this video to completely someone else. I'm not saying it's him, but my God, doesn't that look like Jay's for Justice? It's funny, but it's not. But it's not Benny that we know. So in this room, where my next PDF is going to be all about, I'm trying to show you a photo how it's never who you think it is. So be careful how you pass the judgment. That's why I never do. That's why I took down that other video, because I see I was a little too strong, and I agreed. These are the different photos that happen when you use particular equipment. I sent all this information to my people in Shenzhen, in Dongguan, and I asked them to give me some information on the kind of equipment. You know, I've been to these shows, like I said, and I'm not joking. I'm not bullshitting. And she told me and explained it to me as if it is like a video game. and it's built like one of those video games that um, can do whatever you want it to do. Now, it seems as if there's a game being played, and whoever's playing this game has equipment. And that's why I'm always like, the smallest of the smallest window gives you the deepest and darkest information. I can't get any smaller than that, but it goes smaller. But it always tends to show the information of the sacrificed children. So when I saw that video, I thought of this. I'm like, the images change, and the more layers you have, gives you a deeper, darker story. So here, all the way to the right, you see Benny has a thing on his head. It's really not on his head, it's on someone else's. But they line it all up so it tells a different type of a story so they can't get busted. There are parts of this, how can I say this? There are elements that never go away. They want the elements covered, and they use that layer, and they line up there's these phone screens. This is what I was told. They could line the phone screens up perfectly, and it's going to give you the image that they want it to give you. If in fact it moves just slightly, you're going to see the truth of what they're covering up, is what I was told. So when I go through the layers, she said, what's happening is within split teeny second of a second that they moved or something, I'm getting a very split half a second, millisecond of the truth. There's a way younger Benny, and there's a way younger Andrew Hill too. So they're not all the same. But this is the fake car that I talk about. That's not Benny in his car with the sunroof, even though he's driving his car on the right-hand side. The one in the middle is also him supposed to be in this car. The one to the left is not the Benny we know. It isn't. All of these are in the fake car. The car shows information that I could also find within rooms that he's in, especially the middle one with that window. He has himself in a room that has that same. In the room he's in, it's like a white window with a rim, but here it shows as a purple reflection. So it's all the same place, but they give you different areas in which they're sitting because they want to confuse you. That's why I only follow my elements. He is not in his car. And these are photos to express the fact that there's nowhere he's in his car. Because whatever is happening in this photo here has nothing to do with him in his car. The photo that you see in the middle has everything to do with the picture that I show you of Summer Moon. You know, that's has those let me see if I have it like this. Wait. No, I thought I had it. Wait. It's the one that Summer Moon has the pole basically in her head. That's really what the middle one is supposed to be. And again, this is showing you when I say fake car, I have a reason and all the information behind the fact that it's a fake car. All you have to do is get the frames between the fake frames that are lined up to create the truth they want you to see. Period. That's just, it's very easy. When, like when he does it with his cigarette box, the Newports, the truth of the matter is whatever that is happening on the right-hand side. You see how he's like holding a Benny face? That's not the Benny we know. No offense to the Benny we know, but that's a way younger looking, good looking guy. Like that's not the Benny that they want you to think is Benny. Sometimes he's got dark under his eyes. Sometimes he once actually made a comment like he got Botox. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, no, you really didn't. You just made a comment you shouldn't have made because sometimes you look young. So no one catches those comments because no one's really following it. Once he made a comment, like, wouldn't it be fun for Halloween? I'd make masks of myself. I'm like, well, you already are. So that Benny there is a way younger Benny. This is still the car, and here he has the pole right through his whole entire face. And it's still the car, and the other side he has the element on his head. So this is important for you to show you that reality shifts to what they want you to see. This is Andrew Hilt. It starts out just as Andrew Hilt, and then ends up with someone with the dagger in his eyeball. So the dagger in the eyeball isn't fake. It's just a layer that is under there. It's just a layer that's under there. Yeah, hotter Benny. That's the Benny I want to meet, right? And this is what's under Andrew Hilt's. They're just like Benny's. They're Andrew and Benny, out of all the things a year and a half I've been watching, they have the most similarity in their videos. They have the most similarity in the deep fakes than any other creator that I follow. They do. Now I follow other creators, but they have the most in common. Because they both have photos like this. And the photos like this is the first time I was introduced to me knowing, I knew in the moment I saw this, that this was the equipment that I saw already probably 5-6 years back. It's not totally new. It's maybe new here, but it's not new in other parts of the world. Other parts of the world, we're way ahead of us. This is the first time that I was introduced to this equipment. Knowing, I should back up, that they were using this equipment. I'm like, all right, they are layering this stuff. And as you look at the individual photos of what comes up, it comes up as if it's in its individual frame of a phone. But this is maybe when I think maybe Benny has this equipment, and I think this is when he was setting it up, and that's not a phone. That is part of the equipment. So when I say they have a phone that is part of the equipment, this is as close as you're going to get to see what I mean. And then it creates a fake reality in the telephone that then bounces back and it creates it on him, but he's videotaping it within the computer, so it captures it. It's hard to follow that, but to say it simply is the phones turn into part of the equipment that is used to create these deep fakes. And they line it up within different images within their computer. It all has to line up to create the reality they're trying to create. So, does that make any kind of sense to anyone? This has to make sense because this is what this guy uses, I believe, in the Idaho 4. And that's what I'm going to show you here. Because this here is no different than what I'm showing you here, you guys. It's no different. This is no different. It's really important part that hasn't been discussed within the worlds of authorities. Because this is what's going on. This is what happens. It creates, what I'm told is they build their elements in which they want to use. And it seems as if the elements in which they want to use is what gets thrown in over the sacrifices to make you feel like you're seeing things. But these are the blue, the green, the whatever, and they're just, I call them in the beginning gadgets. They're just like little gadgets. They're like little nuggets. They're little, what I say, they critters. They're just little critters. And these little critters you see here, and you could see it's a split screen. So he's looking at his computer split screen. One to the left, you're going to only see that it's his phone. The one to the right is what they're creating it to be. But the number 5 is right down the middle. So sometimes I could capture it and sometimes I can't. Right? Because it depends on how steady my hand is. But what this shows you is it is a piece of equipment that's you guys could order it. I mean, literally, it's not that big of a fucking deal. But the big deal is they are not recognizing this within the legal world or the authority world as a part of the story. This is what they're doing to cover it up, and this is what they're doing to fuck with everybody's faces. But at the end of the day, it's all the same equipment. So once you understand the elements, you are going to get the story. See, this is that number 5 that sits on the phone. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. But this is it. And the people that are doing this are probably like, wow, but I know I've been introduced to this stuff. So that's how I know it. So here's another layer that's being placed in here. You could see the V. You can see the boxes. It's on the right hand side. So what you have here is he moved it into three or four different screens here. So when you move it, the middle piece where the wood is, usually shows the most of the truth. It's right here. This is all the bullshit. This here would be the truth, and this here is the common area. This here would be the part that I want. And this here is just complete noise. They want you over here. Or over here. They do not want you in here. And this is where my people that are sitting over in China know how to get to. They know this equipment. I told you I was going to find out. Your mind's about to be blown, but the picture on the left-hand side comes from that guy who has it's not Andrew Hill. That's what it shows. To me, it shows a young, this comes from his video on the left-hand side. I am showing you that's what Benny's equipment does on the bottom left-hand side. If the authorities were to really look closely at that video, they would see that it is the Summer Moon Wells missing children story. That it's all the same. This here, let me explain to you, is not an Andrew Hilt video. See that little blue thing that guy has? It's like a whatever he has there. This is his video. This photo turns into a Summer Moon Wells missing child's atmosphere. And now I'm consistently showing you what's on the bottom right-hand corner is what this equipment could do for them. It could create the situation being filmed as if it was somewhere else. Look at this. Going way back full circle to Don's video that was filmed, recorded, and aired on Benny's channel as the Benny read a letter. I kept it. Read a letter back written by Don as if it was his last hurrah, like his, resurrection letter. This video holds the same information that the guy in the Idaho 4 video that comes from Sweetie Pie, Lou, it's the same thing. It's the same equipment. So here you see I turned it upside down so you could see that they're doing something to his eyeball, like they do in all of the videos. What I'm showing you is what's going on to the Idaho 4 kids in this video. I believe was taken the night of the video because the frame around the girl is in her screen. It's not just his screen, because when it looked like someone was holding a phone over a phone, I'm like, and that's what I'm like, oh my fucking God. She's in the frame she's in the picture that has the frame around her that has the bar over her head. So this here is the same thing. The bar over the head in the picture to the left is the same bar that I've been showing. Michael Vaughn's connected to it. Summer Moon Wells is connected to it. Harmony. But that little line across the top is the bar. Her head with that bar would be the same as what they're showing in the middle picture and to the left. The left photo is from that guy's video. It's a head on a platter, just like the other two. Just like the other two. This girl here was the main event. And why I'm showing the middle photo is because that's just Benny sitting in front of his computer. But what I'm trying to show you is he's showing the same information that shows what's going on. How he could do that, it does not mean that he's there, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's the equipment that's creating the reality. This here is the same thing as what this dude is showing. Do you understand? Why I really looked further into this video is because what I heard Como said on News Nation. He had an interview of a lady who was talking about how anal he is and how particular he is, and that everyone now is just only, but what they're missing, everyone is discussing how he's so ADD or whatever, but what they're missing is what he said in that footage. In the footage, he wanted us to make sure we knew it was cleaned up, like it was clean and organized, and that he didn't say he, but that's what I hear, that one of the girls was placed right on top of the other, like it was stacked perfectly. And when I heard him talking, I was so creeped out. Two reasons. I'm like, why isn't this being discussed any further? And that footage of whoever's speaking is speaking through the voice of someone who fits the guy who got arrested's personality. I wish this was cream soda, but it's not. This one's black cherry. Fits the personality. And he says things that should not be said if you weren't there or if you didn't do it. I mean, who says it was done clean or, So it made me take notice. All of these photos in front of you are from him. To the left is a machine that I've been showing you guys. Whatever's in this video, I say is the scene. And it's the same scene as we saw way back with Summer Moon Wells, this scene. Whatever they're coming in and out of, whatever is going on over the shoulder of Benny with the shelf is what's going on today. It's full circle. What you see here is exactly what I'm showing you. This is what's going on. There is no difference if you were to look at the bottom corner in the middle, bottom middle, which I'm going to pull it up. There is no difference than what we've been showing in Summer Moon's photos here. Right here, copy. Right here, there's no difference of what is going on here. Wait. Let me grab it. And what is going on here in that guy's video. These are the same thing, you guys. So for someone who's so anal and wants to make everything so perfect, he didn't. He didn't. Because if he did, I wouldn't have been able to recognize all of this. And it's really obvious. And it should be more obvious to the law enforcement. There's no difference. This is this. All of this I kept on file because to me this was real. It's not Benny's face, but this is real. This is the real place. For those who weren't with me in the beginning, These are photos that to me hold the truth. They weren't easy to get to. But there's something about this that holds reality. This is why they match. The left is the guy from Idaho 4 video. To the right is Benny's video with Don. It is the same location. This is the same thing. The guy on the left even has the same door with the red trim and the white trim as the Wells house. That door is over on the right-hand side. This whole entire situation is the same. It's the same. This picture freaks me out the most. Like, to me, if I were CNN or someone who really wants to figure out what's going on with this photo holds to me the most information. It holds the most information. I mean, look at it. Let me see something. Don and Candace have that same door. And it's so crazy how this is to me a match. This one makes me sweat. Like, it's doesn't make any sense. See here, you could sort of see the white and the red. The white and the red is shown in his. But it's the smaller frame here. See that smaller one? Even the way that face looks with the white, that's what's going on in this guy's video. You guys, he shows the whole thing. This guy, whoever did that video, that's him on the right-hand side. That's Benny on the left-hand side. You guys, it's identical. It might look blurry because I blew up the smallest of the smallest of the smallest photo. The law enforcement can go and get the photo and have it clear. This guy's eyeball is being removed. Now, the guy, whoever's in this video, talking so creepily, is talking about the murders and how perfectly they were done. How clean it was done. How quietly it was done. Very quiet. The one on the left-hand side, the door is the same. It's in the smaller frame. Oh no, I didn't. Lucium was found. I'll look into that. Thank you for sharing that, Kathy Smith. Water is huge. So here are some photos that are from this video. When I tried calling it out on the channel, I could tell that I wasn't welcome, so I left, and I wasn't going to bring it to them any further. I did it myself. It's the only way I could do it, because anytime anyone doesn't want to recognize or is rude about it, like other than like thank you, I'm like, okay, I'm going further. But as you could see, the pictures on the bottom, the smaller photos, he is within the frame of a frame, because that's what it does. It cuts it off. See? And he has a phone within the phone, and he turns into the situation. He turns into the situation of how to film this without getting busted. is what this turns into. Because on the top you could see another layer. It's like oh, I wish I had Benny's photo. He's sitting in a room and like a window, like a clear window layer comes out from the side of the wall. It's like the one in the picture in the middle. It's just I don't know how. Um but yeah. This is yeah, no one's getting notified. I got to check my notifications. Maybe it was turned off. Um I switch it because now they my taking my kids to dinner too. So notice what's going on here and look above his head in the middle photo. Above his head you could see another camera coming out of his film. But it's not a camera, it's just part of the story. And before, if anyone goes back to my see that phone on the top, back to the beginning, one of my videos I did a reading. It was before I even knew Summer. That's how I knew to follow it. Oh, thank you, NW Love. And it was all about the phones. There's so many phones. Take this phone, that phone, this phone. And then there was so many phones in the beginning of Summer Moon Wells. That's all they talked about. It's because the phones are part of how they maneuver this shit. And the Watts family had them too. Oh, thank you guys. So check this out. He has in this frame, he also has a hole in the wall above him. And it's a doorway behind him, but they superimpose different information. You guys, it's like it's the Summer Moon Wells case. There's the white pieces that are connected. It's really obvious that this guy is earring whatever he did. They're earring it. And the photos I see the photos on the bottom. I don't want to blow them up because could you guys look closely at them? If I blow them up, I lose it. But the pictures on the bottom are, to me, if in fact this is one of the guys who has this on his phone, doesn't mean that this guy was there, you see, at all. Because he's getting it through the phone of a phone of a phone. Like he's getting it through the equipment. See, there's no difference between what you see the left-hand side and what you see the right-hand side. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. It's the same idea. It's the same information. So here, when he gets closer, you could see part of that little number 5 box equipment. Because he shows that, it shows up dark on the left-hand picture, and then I got it to show up a little bit like white. You have to play with I have to play with the coloring a little bit, but it kind of ruins it, but it does show that it's not normal. What it's showing is that the outside rim of the phone is actually the bigger part of the equipment that's used. Whatever this, really the bottom line is, whatever this is that was not taken to the level it should have been taken is critical information for both the Idaho 4 and for Summer Moon Wells. It's the same people, it's the same group. They show the same information. And I am like a broken record. I've been saying that over and over. This here might as well be the same place as Don was. And this girl is in a box. So obviously to the left is from that guy and to the right is not. Um, they're both showing little faces, and the one to the left shows the A popping through. But this is how the, I guess this is how the game is played, right? Um, let me put it up here. It shows this way. See the A. This is from this guy, and this is what you find in the car. This is the small little white piece that has the A. Should I move over? That we find that travels. It winds up traveling, right? Wait, hold on. That little piece is what they say they find in the water. But that's the same piece that we do see here in this guy's video, that she did a fabulous job. I don't know where the origin of that video came. That's up to authorities, right? But it gives every piece of element. Whoops, wait. And what's to the left is the same thing that peeps through. It's like a little head or something. So see how it's turning lighter? You see? This shouldn't be ignored, because I believe that this is a missing piece that could really bring a group down, not throw just one person in jail who's going to probably wind up killing himself. So he has on a little piece of paper, but to me it looks like it's on a box. It's hard to read, but one thing it looks like it says burned, and then the other one it says blows. And I know it's a whole sheet of paper, but it's very difficult to stop it, and because if you stop it, it gets really blurry. But some of the words I see says blows and burned and something else. Oh, thank you, Maria, for that super chat. Thank you very much. It says baby lemon with pom-poms. Yeah, it's a box, and the thing is, it says burn, blows, and he knows a lot, too many little details that no one knew. And they still, whatever details he gave, they never gave it. So that he's showing this box, and then on the next two photos next to it, looks as if someone is now being smushed in the box. See? Like the top has now been placed on top. So to me, that's no different than what you see. What you see in the middle, to me, is the same as what you see on either side. They're doing this. They're using the same concept, the same information, the same process. Burns and blows, maybe. Yeah. Let's see. Burned? I can't tell. So this to me is it's the same. Again, photos. I would like you guys to recognize that these are the V's. These are the elements that I've been discussing. You could see the little heart. And the video, as he's going through it even more, you could tell that someone is sitting behind him. There's like it. There's either. This looks like 30. This here looks like he's sitting behind one of the students that were killed. Like, this looks like the killer is sitting behind them in two different photos. So if in fact the authorities want to really see it clearer, it's what they can do is go into that smallest little frame on the right hand side. It pixelates for me, right? But the answer is in that little photo. It always has been. It's been there since June 15th that I started following this shit. It's always been in the smallest of the smallest pic. This little thing in the middle shows a whole different story. But it's the one that the authorities could get to. It's all right here. It gets clearer and clearer again as it goes on, and they have not discussed it. You could see the equipment really clearly, how there's screens down on the left-hand side. And that's how they show what they're doing. She has the bar above her head in the bottom left-hand corner. She has the same bar above her head that they put a fake person in front of. So this here is how I'm going to explain it to you. This photo here, and this is why this guy has to be checked out, because this is how the equipment works to what I understand. This here, what's behind her, and she is behind, what's behind her and she's in front of, is the exact thing, the same thing here. The difference is this person is covering her up. So let me turn it. Goes this way. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. No, it goes this way because the equipment lines up better. Copy. Okay. So look at that white thing on the top right-hand side. This here, there's no way he could have done this if he didn't have that picture of her with this thing around her. It's in the same frame. See how the metal frame is around this? It's the same thing. You follow the elements, right? So this here, that's why I'm always like, oh my God, that's the element I see above her head. And, it's hard for people to understand, and I totally get it. But that element is the same thing that's above this guy's head. But her face is gone. It's her face and this that's being covered up. Let me crop it smaller. So the people who know how to get into these photos, what they're going to see is the student. They're going to see what they don't want us to see. So this here, the element is this. And it's around her head. Now, you could say, oh, I'm layering them, but I'm not, because it's in the same box. It's in the same box. There's a string, like a thing across the top. And it's across the top this one too. See, that's how I line them up. And she's in a box. She is in a box. The same box Summer Moon Wells was in. Do you understand? there's no difference between what's around our summer moon's head and what's around her head. Correct. It matches. That's how you know, because that slant is above the element. So that's how I know that this is the element, and this is really her, and they covered her up because this part of the element right here stays consistent right here, and that's right here. It wouldn't do that. See this and this? Want to know what that is? That's the stick. That is the stick that I talk about all the time. That's the stick that starts out with all of the children. And that little head thing on there, that little teeny head thing that is with all of them, is what I just showed you in the first presentation. That little thing right there, that white head thing, starts out like this. And that's what winds up across the frames of the houses. These frames go with them. These are frames. That little guy down there starts out in the rooms with these kids. From there, that is this. That is that. See that frame? The same fucking thing. Here, I'll turn it. I'll turn it and flip it. Watch. Here. That is this. It's the same thing. Let me turn it this way. And that's what winds up in the doorways. That. That. That's what this is. No different. And then it winds up in Don's doorway. And it's all the same. Look. It's hanging from the predator, whoever's talking to us' face. This is all from his video. I can't say it any clearer or any louder that it's the same thing as Summer Moon Wells. This is the stuff that the children want to stop. This is what they want to be noticed, not discussing his issues all day. This is what's going on. And this is the part that no one wants to talk about. This is what no one wants to talk about. And there's the only reason not to is because they were told not to, or they really just don't want to. Because they can't be scared to talk about it. It doesn't make any sense. Because if they're scared to talk about it, then they're not part of it. They just don't want to talk about it. There's no reason, and a lot of other people shouldn't. I mean, look at the door behind him. This is his video. This is his video. Here are close-ups of the same top of their heads. And you see the different little photos. If you could look, like if you took a screenshot of this and then tried to zoom in on the little teeny photos, they're really interesting. They tell a great deal of information. And I'm just hoping that, you know, the only ones who really, really, really need to get deep down into that are the authorities. You know, because as you could see here, it shows the inside of a maroon box. And it's got like this picture here that I tried to zoom into is the head on a platter. Now it's a head in a box. And that's the frame of it. The frame looks like that. And that photo came from the smallest little photo. Wait. That was page 34. That's in here. Wait. Right here. Copy. So that is basically a head in a box that he shows. And that picture is the one all the way to the right. It's the one in the middle the authorities want, and that is her in her box, which is just like Summers. You see, these are the same. She's in the same thing. Whoever this is hiding behind them. Whoever did this is doing the same thing that you saw in the Idaho fort pictures of their heads coming out of the floor. You know how I showed you their heads were coming up out of the number 5 boxes from the ground? I'm like, that's your answer. This is where that guy is. That's the same guy. And their floor is all number 5 boxes. But if you look closely at this is the same situation. They're all number 5 boxes. And this might as well be the fake food truck scene. Because it has the same stuff. Heads are coming out of the boxes. And it matches. This shit all matches. I don't think that he's going to talk about anyone else. You know why? Because they don't have any DNA evidence of anyone else, and now they're closing up and they're done cleaning the location because they don't want to find anyone else's shit. I mean, this here to me is the best lead that they will ever have. That's how I feel. And that's, I mean, let them go, whoever has the tape, it's what really they need to give it the original, because I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I wasn't the one who presented that, you know? So, same conversation. Do you guys believe this is someone who's getting their eyeball removed? But how crazy is it that this looks like Andrew Hilt as a young kid? But let me remind you that this is coming from the video of the guy who talks about the Idaho 4 murders. This is the guy who talks about the murders, and they could copy and paste this right over Benny and Don's video. That was the video of Summer Moon Wells's letter to her resurrection, whatever. Benny read it. So this here is from that guy's video that wonderful channel has, but yet truly all this is what you've been looking at since Summer Moon Wells case. He even has the gold little heart on his ear. And that's like major. It's like that's a major. Let me show you. The little gold heart. Let me see if I could. And his eyeball. Like there's so much going on. But truthfully, the most important thing is to show you apples to apples, basically. It's so Andrew Hill. See the gold? That's the gold heart hanging. It's a big deal. And you see her, like how this is changing on the other. What's right in the middle, unfortunately, is really what she probably looked like before they did anything more damage to her. In the right hand side, there's one, two. The picture right under the blue dot is probably really what she looked like when he put a blow to her head or whatever he says he's doing. I think he's saying he put a blow to her head. Like he put a blow to her head, you know. But the left hand side shows the number 5 green box that looks like Andrew Hilt for some reason. Yeah, I have a great picture of Andrew. Well, it's allegedly Andrew and Cher. It's so funny. I actually was so let me put this in here. I actually was so uncomfortable because it was so real looking to me that I took it down. Okay. Let's see. Not that one. Yeah, it was so real. Okay. So in the middle, that's an example of how this equipment works. Benny is actually in his garage. And this is what it turns into when you play the game. There's someone, and the two outside photos come from that video. And somehow I could tell that the authorities could get a really good feel of really who's in there because it shows. Like I'm sure if I spent 10 more seconds on these pictures, I'd get a clearer picture. But this here at least shows you that there are other people in here. For all we know, it's all 4 of the students layered together. But there's more than one person there, and you could see whoever's on the outside has thicker eyebrows. And there's a girl in here. This is information that I feel could really help the case. They just have to take the time to really understand the elements that they're looking at instead of getting completely in awe with all the bullshit surrounding it. See the heart coming up? That's on Madison. It's right on her photo. So, you know, this here has the hearts also that are popping up. It's like once you see it in one photo, they seem to just show up on his ear. See the letters? There's letters showing up. F. Something F. Oh, whoops, sorry. Here you could see how the face on the bottom is covered more so than the top. You could see that there's multiple people within these photos. I personally think this is a show and tell, but like show and tell, meaning let me show you everything that I just did, and I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to show you and tell you about it. That's what I hear. Like those words. Like if the person that is guilty of this is listening, they're the only ones that will know that that possibly could be true, right? Like let me show you and tell you about this. And thinks that he's so clever and so safe. Thinks he's safe and that he's untouchable because it's not the person that was arrested. That's what I could say now. To me, this is just one after the other. Each photo shows more of the process. So looking in the eye, the guy shows, the V in the eye, and there's a lot going on here. There's another head within the head of the head. See how the middle photo is starting to show up? That isn't a middle photo. That is a middle phone that is being lined up with the big computer. And it shows you more information because it's the smaller of the photo. So the truth lies within the smallest frame. So now what you do is this is shifting, which it is you cut out the nonsense around it and you zoom into the smallest frame who looks like Andrew Hilt. This looks like all I could see is Andrew. So wait, let me get rid of the eyeball so you don't. So you want to go to the smaller, cut out the noise, and look at the most important photo. Is this. What's going on with his eyeball is what they did to Kylie Rodney. I have photos of them pulling her eye just like that. Right? Kylie has photos of her doing that. Like, actually, it's of Sammy when she did the American, the American Dream Chaser interview. There's photos of her that came from that interview of her just pulling her eye like that. And it's not her. It's not her. They want you, think it's her. But it's not. She's doing the same thing. She's pulling that thing. I wanted to show you this pic because if in fact this guy is showing the truth, that black pickup truck, that black truck was the car they should have been looking for. Never the white car. This black car. I just want to put that out there. This is really good photo of what is happening with this guy because he has the mask over his face, he has the goggles on, and he is helping maneuver this thing and he isn't there. So whoever is in there knows everything that was done so precisely, but yet this person has the equipment on that allows him to be there virtually. This is our killer. That's our killer. Who basically may be virtual and may not leave DNA. He needs to be caught because this is the level, the layer that needs to stop, or else it will keep continuing. This equipment allows it to continue, but this person here, if this person here isn't Brian, they're wasting their fucking time. Wasting their fucking time. The face is right there. I could get it myself, I'm sure. See here, the frame within the frame is a female. You guys see that? That is a female in the frame of the frame. Let me crop it. It's not a male. This is a twosome. This is a sick-o couple that work together. It's a man and a woman. It's a man and a woman, you guys. You know, I have my reservations on, you know, I don't sit here and say who I think this is. Let me what's her name? Wait, having a brain fart. Tina. No. Shoot. Wait. I'm just to show you something. If I could, if I find it, then it's meant to be. I found it, but some of you probably already know what I'm trying to go find. Those who know me well. Is Michigan winning, by the way? Mixed pictures. Wells. Wait, give me 1 second. I always give it some time to see if I could find what I'm looking for. Because it will, it's, Trish, okay, I think it's in here. Way back when I had these and I never got rid of them. I did a whole thing on one of the other members' video. And to me, the video was showing clearly, the location of these boxes. And it was, wait, I don't know what I just did. It was like this. And it really showed incredible information in her video. Um, the video was outstanding because it gave me great information, right? But one of the things that it showed me, and obviously it's not them, but this here was such a close resemblance that I had to show it. This was in Trisha's video. Now, obviously, I don't mean anything against these guys, but to me, this looks like Andrew and the girl voices behind the wall. That's just my opinion, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but this was in the video. Now, here, December 31st, I see two faces where the middle looks like a long skinny nose and a skinny face again. And there's no getting around the fact that that this guy looks like Andrew Hilt. There just isn't. So I just find it, I'm not saying right or wrong or anything against anyone, because everything here is what I say and do is under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, right? So it's just very, it's something that I will have in my brain when I do my stuff now, because these faces, and now there's a woman's face in here with a long nose, are showing up again in my work. That's I guess what I'm saying is I'm questioning that right now. See the woman's face on the bottom? And this to me, let me get a better picture. This here is him. Looks like him. Wait, let me. Ay, Lori. Let me crop it. Let me crop it. And it's just something that I would be remiss to not mention. Like, it just has to be mentioned because this photo, this square right here comes from that guy's video. And the resemblance is crazy, is what it is. It's crazy resemblance. Let me take the eyeball out. That's a crazy resemblance. See his face? Here. There. Her hand's in front of it, but I don't see Ernie whatsoever. I only see Andrew. So this is the video of Idaho 4. This is Summer Moon Wells. And this should not be put to the side and act like this doesn't matter. Because in order to get the students justice, and the Summer Moon Wells Missing Children justice, the story has to be recognized. The story needs to be told through the eyes of the authorities. Through the eyes of the authorities. Because until that day happens, justice is not served. Justice cannot be served until here this is understood as one complete purpose, sacrifice, and same people. This will bring justice, nothing else. Throwing Brian in the hole and him giving no information does not bring justice. It will continue over and over and over and over and over. This is how we do it here, you guys, on WCIA Network. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. I am going to go get dressed. You guys, 2023 is coming to an end. May justice come to all of these people that have been touched by this evil. May justice come to all the children. May justice come to all. Oh, look at, there's a photo appearing as I talk. May justice come. Look at the eyeballs on top. See them? This is the Idaho 4. Everyone be safe, happy, and healthy. Make it a safe, amazing New Year's night. Enjoy your family, your friends. Hug each other. And be happy. Thank you all, my mods. Thank you, Pit Mom. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Muffin Top. We'll make sure that you have the status. I don't know what's going on with that. I will look. And God bless you all. Happy New Year. Bye-bye, 2022. Hello, 23. Good night, guys.